Good morning. This is my first time preaching on Sunday. Feeling a lot of feelings. Praise to all creation. Please join me. Praise to all creation.
Praise to all creation.
Praise to the God within us.
Praise to the God within us.
Praise to the continuity. The unitive, the whole, of which we are inextricably part. Feel it in your body. Feel it in your body. Feel it in your body. Feeling all of what's happening in your body right now. Any tensions from the morning, the week, your life, your family, your home. Just breathe into them and say, I love you. I'm sorry. Any physical pain, any illness, any sickness, any injuries, breathe into them. Say, I love you. I'm sorry. Why are we sorry? Not because we're bad, but because we get confused, because we move too quickly, because we're unkind to ourselves and to others. Breathe into your body. Forgive yourself. There's no forgiveness if there's not self-forgiveness. Breathe it in. Breathe in your own love for yourself. Breathe in your love for this precious body. Every cell of it. Even the parts that trouble you. They trouble you because you haven't figured out how to integrate with some parts, right? We don't figure this stuff out easily. Some of it we don't figure out ever. But we can die trying. Breathe into it. I love you. I'm sorry. I forgive you. Let go of your breath. This is a miracle, this body. The physicists say that this planet is a miracle. All of life that's grown out of this planet is a miracle. The beating of our heart is a miracle. The incredible intelligence of our cells and our chemistry is miraculous. And we take it all for granted. No matter how much pain we're in, no matter how many disturbances are going on in our bodies at this moment, there's still so much going on beautifully. Breathe into that. What we pay attention to grows physiologically as well as in every other way in the world. And it's so easy to just feel our aches and pains and not feel, oh, my heart just keeps going. Even if it needs a pacemaker to do that. Breathe into your body, feel all the goodness. Say thank you. Breathe into your body and feel all the pain and say, I love you, I'm sorry. Thank you for trying to help me find my way. If we can figure these things out, there's great wisdom, right? If we can make peace and accept the challenges, there's wisdom on the other side. I'm getting another wave of nostalgia. Just being in church. And mostly I'd count the boards and the ceiling. But I just love the feeling, you know? Just love the feeling of the light and the loftiness of heaven. I did not like the hypocrisy. There was a lot of hypocrisy when I was young at church. We had to get dressed up, even though I ironed my shirt today. I've owned this shirt for 20 years. I've never ironed it. But I ironed it because I was going to preach in church. And I put on earrings. I made a little bit of effort. I had a little hard time with the pants. But the point is, we couldn't wear pants to church. I don't think, well, Jessica, you have on that beautiful dress, but, you know, nobody had on pants. None of the women. When I was 13, I walked out on Easter Sunday. I didn't feel a thing. I was just done with all that BS. But now I do, because I feel the beauty of what you all have created here. This is a beautiful place, physically, but also you're so loving with each other. And so earnest and genuine. I felt yesterday just people were so willing to go wherever I went, you know, a lot of strange places. And they would just go there and say, okay, what can I learn here? And it makes me remember the beauty and the truth that was in my church. You know, it wasn't all hypocrisy. It wasn't even the majority hypocrisy. We called our minister Mr. Lewis. And he was a good man. And we all felt it, you know, the children knew he was a decent human being. And I remember when we found out how babies were made, and we said, well, Mr. Lewis wouldn't do that. I don't think it's true because he has kids and he wouldn't have done that. I've been a practicing Buddhist my whole adult life. And at the beginning, you know, I was very idealistic about the whole thing and very naive. And there's plenty of hypocrisy there. There's hypocrisy because we're human. And there's goodness and there's love because we're human. And that's just the deal right now. Anywhere we go in the world, two people get together and we can love each other, and it's going to be difficult. Right? And we think that it shouldn't be. You know, it shouldn't be because it's church. It shouldn't be because it's Buddhism. It shouldn't be because we love each other. Can I get an amen right here? I really want to do the Baptist thing, but I don't think I can pull it off. I went to a wedding, and the groom's whole family, like practically all of them were Baptist ministers. And so his sister, they had this salon the night before, the party before the wedding, and they're all artists. So his sister did a Baptist sermon about their relationship. And it was just perfect, and she did the repeat thing, and, you know, she'd do it 3 times. I was like, okay, that's how you do it. You know, and she raised her voice up to God, and then she came back down, and she said, and she'd repeat things from the beginning, you know, the same phrase. It was brilliant. I don't have that in me today. I may never have that in me, but I appreciate being here with all of you, and I feel it in my heart. Put your hands on your heart if you will. Find your pulse if you want to. If you can't feel it on your heart, you want to find it on your radial artery or your, did I just get confused? Yeah, radial, and I just lost the word. Carotid, thank you. Just feel the pulse of your heart. Feel it as long as you want. If you let go of feeling it with your hands, just feel the rhythm inside you. Sense it. It doesn't have to be exact. Just breathing in and out of your heart, directly into your heart, as if. And just feeling everything that's there, the love, the goodness, pain, the confusion. I call the the pain, the confusion, the grasping, the clinging, the small heart. And I call the love and the peace and the wisdom the big heart. And they're both there right in your physical heart. But we have to bring them together. Feel them together. Let the goodness and the love hold the pain and the confusion. Am I loud enough for you? Let go of your breath. Let go of your voice. Sometimes if we let sound come out with our breath, it eases our burden. Yeah, good. Just ease your burden. Feel with your inhalation, you're breathing in the strength and the courage to face what you're holding, what you're carrying for yourself and for your loved ones and for the world. So much trouble in this world. Breathing in the love, the strength, the spirit to go on. Yes, good, thank you. Yeah. Reaching out to receive it with your hands, with your arms, with your whole body if you want to. Gather it in. Say thank you. Reach out. Say, please help me. This is hard. I need help. This is scary. This is too much. Gather it in. Take it in. Say thank you. Oh, thank you. Feel the relief just in that moment. It's all about the moment. Nothing happens except when it happens right now. There's a line from the musical Rent. For those of you that know the musical, when I think they're all the HIV people that are sitting in their group together. And then the song they sing, the line I remember, I think I might have changed it a little bit. There's only now, there's only this, no day but today. Just feel that. See if you want to sing it with me. There's only now, there's only this, no day but today. Feel the echo. Listen for the silence behind the echo right now. So when we say, please help, we're not asking anything outside of us. because this is continuous with all. We are just a speck of the universe. And when we open, we can feel the continuity. Just feel it now. We're just one little piece of the universe, of God, of magic, of consciousness, of all that is. There's nothing, bless you. There's nothing separate. You know, your fingernail isn't separate. The garbage in the garbage can is not separate. We're all one. Science confirms that. So our hearts create a field, the biggest field in the body. Everything in in our bodies is pulsating and generating a field. The heart's field is the largest one, and they all just blend together and they go out. And they blend together with the field. The earth is pulsating and generating a field. And it glows out and blends. And all of the trees, all of the creatures, a blade of grass. Feel it in your body. We have these bodies so we can feel. We can feel this unity. The earth's field is so strong that it generates a protection. The field is protective. I want to say 40,000 miles, but that seems too small. But it's way past our atmosphere. And because of that field, we're not scorched by the radioactivity of the sun. If the earth wasn't a living, pulsating being, we wouldn't be here. And if it didn't generate that field, we wouldn't be here. And this is way past the ozone layer. And it generates the field because at its heart, there's molten lava churning. And it's that activity that generates the field. And then we ask ourselves, well, where's God? Where's cosmic awareness? Where's the vast void? Right here. There's nothing separate. There's no other place. They coexist. The formless, the divine, the magical coexists. It's woven into all of this. It is this matter. This matter is a manifestation of the divine consciousness. Feel it in your body. Whew. I'm always looking for somewhere else. Do you do that? You know, somehow splitting it up in my head. And then I just keep saying, everything I study, everything I've learned, there is nowhere else. Of course, I could be wrong. But I've deeply, deeply studied this for 45 years. in a lot of different ways. And all the physicists, Einstein, Bohm, that's how you say his name, I never remember, they were all intensely spiritual. You know, they got there through science. They didn't think there was any other place. Yeah. In Buddhism, they say it's not like a red thread and a white thread being wound together. That form and formlessness are separate but intertwined. It's one. So these bodies that appear so substantial, so heavy, so burdensome often to us, everybody knows by now, right? When you look in an electron microscope, there's nothing there. It's 99.9, however many nines, empty. And somehow those neutrons and electrons, you know, what do they say? If home base is the neutron, then the electron is a fly outside the stadium. There's that much space in every one of our atoms. Holy Ghost. Now feel that in your body. I hope I didn't offend anybody. Feel it in your body. There's nothing here. This is how magic happens. This is how miracles happen. Nothing here. And in that nothingness, we could say, if we're looking for a different place, because that's how our brains work, is where God lives, is where the luminous, loving awareness lives. Feel it in your body. And if we could remember that stillness, that emptiness, that vast, loving sea of awakeness. And if we can remember to feel our hearts and to feel our bodies, just think how much that would help you with all the struggles in your life. Just really think about, what's bugging you right now? What's hard? How can you bring that deep into your heart so it can transform into nothingness that is everything, the fullness, the emptiness, the fullness, the emptiness, that are somehow one and the same. That we can't ever understand with our brains, but we can feel. Right? We just get these little glimpses and we just feel like, oh, this is all just a fleeting moment. And there's no reason to fight about anything, really, except when there is. I like to just sit quietly together for a few minutes. But before we do, I want to check and see if anybody has any questions or thoughts or concerns about what I've said here today. Or anything you want to share? Yeah.
Thank you for yesterday. Could you maybe synthesize in just a minute or two your work and how you implement that in your daily life, what you're trying to achieve with the tapping into the body rather than the head?
Oh, that's a hard question. I kind of thought I was doing that already, but I wasn't. You want more practical.
I think it might be helpful for those that... Some of us spent 6 hours with you yesterday, and there was...
Right, you're just worried about the new people. It's like, oh my God, what are they thinking right now? I think they're good. But I mean, if there's something specific you want me to say, to me, this is the practical. It's the moment-to-moment practice. That's a word I haven't said. You know, so everything I've said today, everything we've done today, to me, it's a practice. And that is perhaps, in my mind, the best thing about Buddhism as a religion, is that it emphasizes practice and path. At any given moment, we can use our awareness, the feelings in our body, the thoughts in our head, the ideas we have about the world and what it's all about, and just take a moment to be that as best we can, right? You all know that. Just, a moment of prayer. I interviewed one of my teachers, my Somatic teachers, about her spiritual path. And I titled the interview, An Attitude of Prayerfulness. And that was a phrase she had used. And she was raised half Jewish and half Christian. And then she went to Asia as a young person and did a lot of Zen. And, she was not a religious person particularly or a meditator, but her practice is just body awareness. But in talking to her about her spirituality, she said, well, I guess I just try to generate an attitude of prayerfulness throughout my life. Anything that helps you, looking at the new aspen leaves. I mean, are they not a miracle? Just feel those for a minute. And see how that helps you with the argument you're having with your partner or whomever. Yeah. Or loneliness, right? You know, with loneliness, we can go to nature, we can go to spirit, we can go to the whole universe. We're never alone, we're always held and embraced. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I really enjoyed yesterday, and today has been a wonderful practice. I mean, I feel like today that's what we're doing, we're practicing. Just a question, you know, you talk about loneliness, you say, please help me, all these things, which to me have a really negative kind of connotation.
Tell me about it, because I've had that negative association too, but I want to hear what yours is like.
Well, I just think that, you know, there's certain times in life where you're like, oh, please help me, my God, you know, I can't deal with this. But then a lot of the time you're going around saying, you know, life is pretty good, you know, I'm pretty happy, and, you know, I kind of, you know, enjoy my meditations and
I get
things.
what you're saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so sometimes I feel like, does it have to be, you know, a negative calling, or you know, like a
No.
release, or can it just be
No.
like, oh, gratitude, attitude of gratitude?
Absolutely. Yeah, and, you know, we shut down the pain and we don't feel the pain, but we also shut down the joy and the bliss and the vitality and the fullness and the fun and the excitement. And I just, you know, I saw a picture of Jessica in her play, and it's just like so full of life. But how many teenagers get the opportunity to express that? You know, it's the stage that's let you shine that brightly. Yeah. So for those things too, breathe in, dig deep, open up, you know, let all the goodness out, let all the joy out, let the gratitude, and yeah, absolutely. And feel in your body what's holding it back. Do it with me right now. Feel how you hold it back. Exaggerate how you hold yourself in and back and make yourself tired and old and boring. Do it more. Get into it. Yeah. And then let it go. Just say thank you. Thank you. Life is so good. Feel it all the way through. In your feet, through your legs, through your trunk, in your hands. Coming in and going out every which way. Life is just flowing through you. And then in the emptiness that we truly are, the divine is just flowing through us. Yeah, good. Thank you for that clarification. Yeah, sure.
Susan, fabulous. Thank you. The well-known sort of internet meme, between the trigger and the response, there's a space, and that's where all the growth and so forth is. So taking your practice and saying, oh, I'm having a negative emotion. What was the trigger? How do you expand the space, and then how do you go sort of deep and unwind that negative emotion?
Well, you know, I'm glad you asked that question, because a lot of people do that, try to do it cognitively, and, you know, pin the tail on the donkey. Do you have that game in Britain? Yeah. And, you know, it works sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes, it can be very frustrating. If you do it in your body, it's much more blurry than that. It's just like, oh, sadness. Okay, well, there's this death and loss and blah, blah, blah. But they all pool together in a reservoir, right? So I don't worry too much. You know, our inquisitive minds wants to like say, okay, so that's mom's death, and then also that thing that happened, and you know, we want to have some kind of cognitive take on what's wrong with us. You know, it's just the way our brains work. But don't get too caught up. I often tell people, you know enough. You understand your psychology well enough, if they do, you know. Some people need to, you know, explore a little more and get a little more awareness of the history. But then just go in and feel it and breathe with it and love it and let it unwind and let it come out. The good stuff and the bad stuff. So that we're not holding on to either one, any of them, ones that we can't tell whether they're good or bad and they're all mixed up together. Was that a healthy relationship or an unhealthy relationship? I don't really know. That's so often true. People are trying to figure it out, and it's mixed. The most common reason people come to therapy is, should I stay or should I go? And I just say, you just have to see what you do. You know, try to get clear about the pros and the cons, but you can't decide to go because it's logical and then follow through, and you can't decide to stay because it's logical and have that be healthy and follow through necessarily. Being human is messy. And that's beautiful. You know, it's a beautiful thing, this human confusion that we are. It's sad when we hurt each other, but it's also kind of funny and fun, and we're all a little bit confused here. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi.
Louise, is that you?
Yeah. I originally wanted to ask you to do something, but then now I'm going to respond to Bruce's question. Not respond to it, but that chant you taught us is kind of, to me, an answer to when you're feeling that way.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask if we could do that again today.
Sure.
That was just my question, because
Yeah.
that resting and awareness is incredible.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Thank you. You look so much more at peace today. Yeah, yeah. I hope it was helpful to your daughter as well. Oh, good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's how it works. We find peace, and then we share peace, and it ripples out. And it's, you know, it's all a prayer, just doing our best.
I did have her, I told her, and I made her practice with me putting her hands on her heart.
Aww.
And then I told her, you know, if it's really, and I said, you know, go outside and scream or go in your room and just shake. And then I told her, and then you can always go to your son and hold his hands and look in his eyes and know that he loves you. That seems so simple, but so pure and helpful.
Great, good. Yeah, we just have to find our peace, you know. All hell is breaking loose around us, and we can just go, oh, here I am. I had this student who was in Vietnam, and he had this experience of walking through enemy fire. And he said he was in a state of grace. And it was all so slow, he could see the bullets coming and move. And he just walked through and he was fine. You know, miracles happen. Okay, so the chant is real simple, and those of you that weren't here yesterday will learn it real fast. This body, this speech, this mind. In other words, all of how we think of ourselves is just awareness. The body is awareness. Every cell in our body, every molecule is sensing its surroundings and responding. That's awareness. Speech, when we talk to each other, we're trying to become aware of each other, right? I'm reaching to you and listening. Speech is awareness. Mind is awareness. Our minds are reaching out, testing, studying the world, trying to understand. This body, this speech, this mind are just awareness, heart of awareness, rest in awareness. That's the whole chant. We'll do it 3 times, and then we'll rest afterwards. This body, this speech, this mind are just awareness, heart of awareness. This body, this speech, this mind are just awareness, heart of awareness. Rest in awareness. Feel it in your body. This body, this speech, this mind are just awareness, heart of awareness. Rest in awareness. Just rest. Thank you all. Thank you, Nicholas, for having me and everybody that's helped. Thank you all that came yesterday, and thank the rest of you so much for coming today.